hello. Good morning. Welcome into another week as we wrap up the month of March here on Exiles TV. Say hello to my friend Bill Profito over there.
Good morning, everyone.
I'm Kevin Gallagher over here, and we have a big show lined up for you today.
Yeah.
As events return. Events begin to happen again.
Yay!
Thank you, Phase 3.
Yeah, Abby Hamilton with the BR Epicurean Society will be with us to talk about Spring Fete that is coming up. One of the first on the new calendar as we get moving on along here. We've also got some news, and a lot of it is just, you know, we talk about this a lot because it happens a lot. More murder in the city of Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
And this one is a 1-year-old girl. Police arrested Jonathan Dunn, who is 34 years of age, yesterday and charged him with first-degree murder and second-degree cruelty to a juvenile. According to BRPD, they were responding in the 4800 block of Peerless Street in regard to a medical call. When they got there, they found Jalea Fontenot unresponsive with multiple bruises on her body and a large burn on her back.
What did this guy do?
Well, she was still alive at the scene, but she died at the hospital. Police say that Dunn is a family friend to the child's family. You have a weird definition of a friend.
Yeah, with friends like that.
Booked into East Baton Rouge Parish Prison, first-degree murder and second-degree cruelty to a juvenile. No bond has been set. But again, as you said, what did he do? And is this just plain old, everyday, vicious, brutal murder? Or again, is this going into our domestic violence murder, since obviously they say he was a family friend. He had obvious access to this child. And there isn't much more reporting other than that. You know,
Just sad. We had also 3 shooting incidents over the weekend.
Yep.
That resulted in 2 deaths. So 3 deaths with this sweet little baby girl. And you just wonder what the hell is wrong with our society.
Well, and we've got another shooting this morning on Holt Drive. I don't believe there is a death associated with that one. The headline says 1 person injured in a shooting on Holt Drive. And there was a news report last night of a shooting in the Goodwood area as well, a non-fatal shooting. So we're just keeping it rolling here, aren't we?
Yep. We also had a fatal hit and run over the weekend on North Acadian Thruway. So all in all, it was a violent weekend. All I can say is, you know, prayers. Send up prayers for people's hearts to be lightened and their minds to be enlightened, and maybe there may come some end to all this horrible violence.
Well, again, I mean, nobody looks good in their booking photograph, right?
Nope.
But I was looking at the booking photograph of Jonathan Dunn, the man that they are holding in connection with the death of this 1-year-old, and I mean, totally flat affect. He doesn't look like, oh, I'm in trouble now. Oh, I'm going to go to prison for the rest of my life. I might get the needle. Totally flat affect.
Those eyes are dead. There's nothing going on behind those eyes.
Well, and again, sociologically, how do you deal with that in society?
Yep. How do you talk to someone who probably doesn't in his heart think he did anything wrong? That it was just an oops.
Yeah, I can see the bruises as an oops in somebody's mind. I don't know about the giant burn on her back.
Massive burn on her back. And I just, God, babies, don't let strangers near your babies. When I say strangers, I mean people who aren't proper family. Don't let them near your babies. And certainly, Some of these cases you hear, it's like, well, I just left the house for a few minutes to go to the store and left him watching her. And it's like, what? Don't leave your children with a boyfriend, a friend of the family, their baby daddy's cousin. None of this nonsense.
Well, it just,
That's how bad stuff happens.
A 1-year-old that died what doesn't look to be a peaceful death, okay?
No.
Burned and beaten, and this is because you let someone into your life, into your home. This is not like some crazed person broke down your door, which would be bad enough. This is somebody that you invited into your home, and they killed your 1-year-old. I just don't know. I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I say that in an effort to be empathetic in this society, and you've heard me say this before, for a great many people, empathy is a wasted emotion.
Yeah.
But having gone out of our way to be empathetic for people that have a myriad of problems, and everybody knows we have a myriad of problems in this society. I'll tell you about another one after the break. But we have basically given permission for bad behavior. We have become,
We almost excuse it.
Well, yeah. There are certain people whose mental acuity is so small and whose demons in their head are so large that they excuse society being empathetic to their situation as being permissive to do whatever the hell they want to do and not having to have any impulse control.
Stop making excuses. That's what I ask of society, the courts. Stop making excuses for people.
But
when people do bad, judge them, and judge them fairly, but judge them.
There were people who had mental illness, had depression, had schizophrenia, had addictions when I was a child, and I'm sure that they wanted to act out the way many people in our society today act out. But you know what? It was a very small number because there was no empathy for it. They were dealt with very harshly by their family, their friends, and their neighbors. So we had a lot less acting out. Now, in an effort to be empathetic, we say, well, they really can't help themselves. They can't control it. We've got to be understanding of their outbursts. We've got to be understanding of, and you can't swing a dead cat without somebody that's got a doctor's note saying they can act the fool. I don't know if this is progress.
You decide. We're going to take our first break of the hour and come back. More headlines, and later this hour, Abby Hamilton with the Baton Rouge Epicurean Society got an event coming up. Events are back.
Yay!
Thank God. Events are back. And we love telling you about them, so stick around. Exiles will be right back.
Taste the feeling.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
up to the skies, I see desire in your eyes, but you can't keep it in your heart. 'Cause misery loves company. 'Cause misery loves company. Cold and hungry like a dog in the street. I get a raw deal every one.
Welcome back to Exiles TV. Glad to have you along with us, Bill Profita, Kevin Gallagher. We were talking about this horrible murder in Baton Rouge. A 1-year-old burned and beaten to death by a 34-year-old male who was a, quote, friend of the family. And we're talking about the concept that we have embraced over the last, I would say, 30 years of being a lot more empathetic to people who have mental illness or other problems or who grew up in difficult circumstances. And for some people, that empathy is wasted because they look at it as being permissive, or they look at it as weak victims, easy pickings. Now, here's a case where it didn't go that way. Kevin, serial killer Joseph Edward Duncan died Sunday in prison. He was facing execution, and he was convicted of the 2005 kidnapping and killing of a 9-year-old.
Which state was this, Bill?
This was in Idaho. Dylan Groen, Grone, or maybe it was Greeny, was one of his victims. He also, this guy murdered Brenda Greeny, the boy's mother, Slade Greeny, the boy's teenage brother, and Mark McKenzie, the mother's boyfriend, at their home just outside Coeur d'Alene.
So he killed the whole family.
Before kidnapping the boy and his 8-year-old sister. He tortured both children and killed the boy. The sister was spotted several weeks later in a restaurant, and he was arrested. Now, he pled that the reason he did all these things was that he had a brain tumor that interfered with his sense of right and wrong. They did confirm they had a brain tumor. But, as I said, the pendulum is swinging back a little bit on this. They said, that does not excuse your crimes. You are going to go and face execution. And if this brain tumor kills you in prison, so be it.
And so it did.
And so it did.
Well, sorry to be coarse, but the world's a better place today for not having him to share air with.
Well, it is, but I would have liked to have seen them strap him down in Terre Haute and put that needle in his arm and say, tell me again how this impacted you, how you kidnapped and killed children and their parents. Tortured
children.
them. Yeah, tell me again how this brain tumor made you do it. You know, Flip Wilson.
Can I ask you a heavy question?
Sure.
Do you believe in Satan? Do you believe in the existence of
Absolutely, I do.
evil in the world?
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't really believe it. But I got to tell you, I am a believer. I believe in God, and more so, I believe in Satan, and I believe in Satan's influence on the weak-minded. And I don't know what's to be done about that, other than people need to pray and they need to read their damn Bible.
I believe I've seen Satan. I believe I looked him in the eye in his human form in a patient
Did
I
he hand
took
you a
care of.
severance check?
Nah, the guy who did that to me was not that high in the pecking
He
order.
was a lower echelon.
Yeah, he's more like a flying monkey.
He's an imp.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But no,
I'm sorry.
there was a guy that broke into the United Airlines stewardess, as they called them then. Now it's called Flight Attendant Training Center, which was very, very near the suburban hospital where I happened to be working. And the sheriff's department came in and said, they came in with a victim that he had raped and beaten and mutilated with his hands and his teeth in a great many different ways.
Ouch.
There was another victim that they found later that didn't live. But they told us who he was. They told us they knew where to find him, and they were going to canvass and try to find this guy. Well, about 2 hours later, they came in with him in custody, but he resisted arrest. And they met his resistance with overwhelming force.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember putting him on a gurney with several other people, cuffing him hand and foot, and the look in his eye put a chill on my spine. I actually stepped back, and I believe that I saw pure evil in that man's eyes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? He was just simply PO'd because he wasn't going to be able to do what he did any longer that night. And he would have killed any one of us had he not been in 4-point restraints. And I like I said, I think I met Satan.
I do believe that there are people who are easily influenced by the forces of evil in the world, and I don't think there's any legislation or any amount of therapy or anything that can solve that. I think that we've got a very esoteric fight on our hands between good and evil, and sadly, I think a lot of our governments choose to pretend that that doesn't exist, and that very esoteric world is not something that's real, and so they think, you know, with the right kind of therapy and discussion with an expert, that they can help you out of these things.
I don't want to say that we should give people hunting licenses on those who have severe mental illness. But at the same time, I think we should self-censor ourselves in this society, and not having all these Pollyannas that go on TV and radio and write articles and they do movies about, and they skip to Malou and talk about how we should mainstream all these people and how we should put them in schools right next to your kid, or maybe even let them teach your kids in schools. And, you know, you shouldn't be afraid to hire them. And, you know what?
Let's have drag queen story time.
It may not be their fault, but if they exhibit violence,
Mm-hmm.
they need to be isolated from our society. And we cannot tell, particularly young people, that this is normal, that it's okay, or that there isn't anything that's not normal in our society, which is another soapbox that I don't have time to climb up on this morning.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, when I was a kid, when you were a kid too, you didn't have to have a stranger danger class to not get in a car with somebody you didn't know. Your parents told you strangers can be dangerous.
Well, and I was also taught, trust your gut. If it doesn't feel right, it's not right, get out.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't any big heavy-duty stranger danger thing. It was like, if it doesn't feel right, it's not right, get away.
Yeah.
Run if you have to.
Yeah.
And
Just
on a couple of occasions in my youth, I did. Saved my life.
there you go.
There you go. There are bad people in the world. Time to take another quick break. There are good things happening in the world
Yes,
as
there
well.
are good people in the world. We're going to have one on
Let's
next.
turn this thing upwards and get a big smile on. One of the good people, Abigail Hamilton, joins us next on Exiles TV.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to greystonecountryclub.com.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Cantea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Cantea, your Italian dining will change forever.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring taste the feeling.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
The selection is deep, and the time to get a used car is right now from the Team Automotive Group. Shop and save on over 125 certified vehicles and choose from more than 700 pre-owned vehicles at any of our team locations. Or log on anytime at teamautouse.com.
Hey, welcome back. Exiles TV. The governor's got us in phase 3. A lot more stuff is open. A lot more things are, we're allowed to have larger crowds than we had been allowed. And so that means, thank goodness, some of those wonderful events are starting to return to our society.
And again, I know last year we might have gotten a little amnesia on this, but the Baton Rouge Epicurean Society has been putting together food and wine events that benefit a lot of great charities in our area for about 15 years now, and they're always called a fete. We had Crawfete, we have Fete Rouge. This is Spring Fete. Abby Hamilton here to tell us about it. Hi, Abby, how are you?
Good, I'm great.
This looks like this is going to be a lot of fun because it's held at a very beautiful location.
Yes.
Tell us about this.
So we had to reschedule Crawfete for next year because of capacity issues. So we decided to come up with a new event, and we're just calling it Spring Fete, and at Homa's House and Gardens. Hopefully we will have beautiful weather. We do have a rainout plan just in case, but we wanted to have something. We wanted to just sort of jump back in now that the governor has opened us up a little bit more regarding events. And it's going to be great. We have at least 10 restaurants with food. We have several wineries, distributors doing wine, and we're also going to have spirits and a beer table. So this is a little different than most of our events, which focus solely on wine. But these days you have to kind of sort of think out of the box and see what's available.
Well, I'm looking at the partial lineup. Since it's at Homa's House, their restaurant.
It's a who's who of delicious food, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is fabulous. They're going to be there. Rouge Creole, Solera, Beau Soleil, Don Bergeron's City Market. Is there a year he hasn't won Best Catering?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I think he's going to have to throw the game next year to give somebody else a chance.
He should judge. He's so good.
Rufino's, Rouge 61.
Rouge 60, our friend Joshua Hebert. He's awesome.
He is. The Francis
Southern Table. Yep. I'm not familiar with Playa Bowls. That's new, right?
Right. So Playa Bowls is fairly new. They were out at Crawfete 2 years ago. And it is sort of a dessert, and actually he had a huge response. People were going to see him, and he does it's kind of a sorbet-like, but you can add all kinds of toppings and make it more dessert-like, or it could just be a palate cleanser in between. But he's totally on board for all of our events, and right now I think they're thinking about opening a second location in Baton Rouge. They're doing so well.
Now this is not an incomplete list. We have more restaurants than this.
Yes. So I wait until we have the confirmation from everyone, and we do have a couple more that are interested. Now I say this because our max capacity is 275 people, and we've sold over half the tickets already, without it going out in any kind of other advertising other than social media, and then right here at the Exiles.
Well, and again, for those of you who are watching us in the New Orleans area,
Correct.
or in the river parishes, or in the Lafayette area, this is easier than getting to an event in the city of Baton Rouge, because
Right.
I-10, you just
Right.
take the exit, if you're coming from the east, the exit before Tanger. If you're
Yes.
coming from
Sunshine Bridge.
the
Yeah,
west,
absolutely.
you take the exit after Tanger and go to the river, and you'll be right there at Homa's house.
Don't cross the river.
No.
Just
Well, you
go
can't.
to
You
the
can't
river.
cross the river there. You'd hit the levee, and you'd be too drunk to drive home. But it's easy if you're coming from Lafayette or coming from the New Orleans area, the river parishes. This is a real easy get. So that's a nice thing.
Yes. So we're also going to have some live music. So we have a 2-person band. I call them, because they play at Ben 77 a lot, Grits and Gravy. They are fantastic. And we also will have a small silent auction, with some of our, donors, and some wine, some dinners, some tastings, and things of that sort.
Well, we're going to get to, in our next segment, we're going to get to how people get tickets and what they cost and all that. But, Epicurean Society has always been very, very generous with their events, helping charities throughout the state. So who is going to benefit from this?
Right. So what we do is at the end of the year, the board chooses which charities we choose from. But in the past, it's Our Lady Lake Children's Hospital, it is Girls on the Run, it is JDRF, the Baton Rouge Food Bank.
Pardon me.
Because we focus on childhood health and nutrition. And a lot of these where you may say, oh, that's not really related to childhood, but they have programs for children, specifically for children. So, it's been Boys and Girls Club has been one of ours. There have been many that we've donated to. Breda, that they do, we did it last year, or year before. They had a garden at Ryan Elementary, and they had the kids who were growing their own vegetables, and they were really teaching them how to, use the vegetables and, sort of self-sustain.
These events have grown
Yes.
substantially, and I think a lot of it is because, Baton Rouge Epicurean Society introduced Girls on the Run to the state of Louisiana. They kind of operated in the shadows before
Right.
you all started giving them scholarships and things like that. But this was a core group of people in the restaurant and the food supply business that said, we need to do something that people will like to go to, where they can learn about food, they can enjoy good food and good wines, and we can give some money back to the community.
Right.
And these things have become kind of monolithic when it comes to food events in our area.
Yeah, and so what's been interesting during our year of COVID, we're still in COVID, is that we have really thought, okay, some of our events are rather large. So what do we do? So our first set of events were we did Fete Dine. So we had small gatherings at like 6 different restaurants, and then some of the proceeds came to us, and just so that we can keep the brand going and keep the name out there and let people know, hey, this is a charity and this is who we donate to, and we want to be part of, just pushing Baton Rouge forward and trying to make sure that everyone is having a good time within the guidelines, of course. And we will have COVID safety precautions at the event as well.
Abby, there seems to be a lot of speculation that maybe the governor will sound an all clear as summertime comes on us. That maybe we'll be beyond any kind of restrictions because of COVID-19. Now, I remember Fete Rouge, one of your summertime events, was always huge.
Yes, it is.
Are you tentatively planning to do one this year, or do you have to wait and see?
Well, right now we have it scheduled for August 27th. With the award dinner, we're going to honor the Pizzolata family.
Good.
Because we
Nice.
were not able to last year. So that's June 10th. Both events are at La Berge. So we're hopeful I'm hopeful with the increases and the number of people getting vaccines and people just feeling a little bit more safe. We're hoping. Now, our numbers for that event are usually like 1,200. We may have to back it down a little bit. We'll just have to see.
I don't know. I think if the governor sounds the all clear, I think people are going to be ready to bust out and go do some stuff.
That is definitely true, which is why I think our sales for this spring fete have already, just sort of increased quickly.
What was it that was said in Jaws? We're going to need a bigger boat?
Right. Right.
But that event was very much missed last year. I mean, it's big, it's huge, it's always a great deal of fun. And Bill and I have always been proud to take part.
Yeah, the Baton Rouge area, you can't just say Baton Rouge area. Baton Rouge area has become a food destination.
Right.
So many of the tourists who used to think there was only New Orleans now spend a couple days in Baton Rouge and eating in our fine restaurants. And the local public, the average people love going to these things. It's kind of hard to deny them, in a COVID year.
Right.
It's tough. Has Epicurean Society lost any members due to COVID?
We have not lost any members, but we do have some that of course have struggled. There are some of our restaurants that have done okay and done well. Again, this is like thinking outside of the box. This is like, what can we do with the curbside only? All right, in the beginning, right? So April was probably the worst month, the second half of March and April, worst month for the restaurants.
Yeah, because everything was surging.
Everything.
It was awful. Yeah.
When it started to pick up a little bit, depending upon where your restaurant was located, people started to see an increase, and they were surprised because they were budgeting for a lot less, of course, and it was great. The community supported. You really couldn't go anywhere, so you spent maybe some of your dollars on an occasional out to curbside pickup dinner, or maybe even in dining when that came about.
Well, I'll tell you, this past year's been good for. It's been good for Uber Eats. It's been good for DoorDash. It's been good for Waiter. Because I was recently in a restaurant where I was waiting to get a table, but there weren't that many people waiting to get a table. They were just cleaning one off for me. And while I was there waiting, I saw 6 different delivery drivers come in, pick up delivery, and go. And I just think it's great that people embrace the idea of getting good restaurant food delivered to their house, rather than just going without it altogether.
And a lot of our friends, I don't mean to single out one person, because a lot of them did things that were very innovative, but I mean, Brian Dykes over at BIN, he did his whole meal. And it was like 2 flatbreads and a bottle of wine, and it was like one very reasonable price. And we said, we're going to have to do that because it sounds good and want to support, Brian. And we saw 4 people we knew getting the same meal. We all had a drink together, and then we went home with our meal.
Exactly.
But,
Exactly.
Everybody, Stephen Hightower at Rouge and all of his restaurants, everybody's tried to be very accommodating. This one, they're going to be showing off their finest. We're going to tell you how to get there and how to get tickets right after we take this break. Back in a moment on Exiles TV.
Balello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Balello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi, I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
And I'm Dr. Kay Siller with The Rocket Right Show.
We are 2 busy blondes on the go showing off life in Louisiana.
Watch us on Pelican Sports Network.
And Talk 107.3 FM. Check local listings for times.
The first big sale of the year is here. The Dream Garage Spring Event is underway at Team Honda. For the first time ever, get $12.50 customer cash on every new 21 Passport, or get 0% for 60 months on every new 21 Pilot at Louisiana's #1 Honda dealer, Team Honda.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
Welcome back. It's Exiles TE. We're talking about events, those wonderful events that we all got so used to having, and some of them are starting to come back now that the governor has put us into phase 3 of the COVID response. The one we've been talking about in the previous segment is Spring Fete, which is coming up at Hummus House. Hummus House, did I pronounce it correctly?
Hummus House, yes.
That's coming up on Sunday the 18th. If you want to go, here's how to get your tickets.
Abby Hamilton with Baton Rouge Epicurean Society.
Yes.
She coordinates a great many of their events and does a stellar job, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Stellar job.
So the tickets are $85 a ticket. All right, which is really a great price. Now, we have included this year, because it is at Homa's House, a round trip ticket. So if you want to pay $125, you can be picked up and dropped off either at Rufino's, Palermo's, or Mestizzo's. So this is all on Eventbrite, but you can go to our website, which is bressbr.org. Click and you can buy a ticket there. It's really great. If you choose a round trip ticket, then they'll pick you up at 1:30. We're not responsible for any latecomers, but and then bring you back for around between 5 and 5:30. So,
yeah, I don't want to be crude, but there are going to be at least 5 or 6 tables of wines that each have 5 or 6 wines for you to sample.
Oh yes.
And driving might not be your best option. If you're going to spend the day and really enjoy yourself, you know, none of us are as young as we used to be or as stupid, so the round trip might be a good idea.
Well, and there's always the option to spend the night at Homa's House, right? Because it's such a great place if you're free Monday morning. So I think it's going to be awesome. Like I said, we'll have sort of a person at each location, just sort of with a checklist, making sure everyone is getting on the bus, and we've got to thank Riverside Limousines and Stabs and Rufino's for letting them use their vehicles, their Sprinter vehicles.
That's really nice. Now, for those of you who have not been to one of the fetes that we have here in Baton Rouge, let me tell you how this is going to work. Last time, and God, it seems like it's been forever, we talked about it. I got phone calls saying, I want to go. Is this like jacket and tie? And who do you sit with? No.
Yeah.
All right. That one time a year at the awards dinner, you're going to sit down and you're going to have a table beside you. But all these other fetes are spread out, and you mingle, and you go to the different restaurants, and they have a specialty dish that they want you to try. And you've got savory, you've got sweet, you've got dessert, you've got. They really put on the dog. The
portions are just right, too, so you can hit virtually everybody before you start to feel like, well, I've had enough to eat.
And then they have the wine tables. And you usually have 1 or 2 food tables and then 1 or 2 wine tables so that you can kind of make a meal and then move on to the next place. And this year you got beer and spirits as well.
Yeah, so we're going to have Tin Roof beer, and then we have lots of spirits. And we have some winemakers coming, and a few of the bourbon regional guys coming in. So some of it's going to be batch cocktail, some of it will be straight up tasting, if that's your thing. But there's a lot to offer.
Well, and again, they also, I mean, you don't have to have a glass of wine in your hand the entire time. One of the things they're really good about is they have copious amounts of water, bottled water, much like this, in barrels,
And
all
other soft
iced
drinks.
down.
And soft
ready
drinks,
to eat,
yes.
And soft drinks. So this is not an event for kids. I will
Right,
tell you.
21 and up.
I will tell you, leave the kids at home.
Yeah.
You know how I feel about this. Kids should not be allowed into a dining establishment that does not have a drive-through window. Leave the kids at home.
No sea of balls, no children.
Little germ factories. I don't want to see
No,
them.
you know, though it's nice though to have things that are just for the grown-ups to do.
Yes.
Yes.
You know, some people think that's some kind of a sin. It's, well, you can't have our kids. It's like, you know what? Park them with grandma for an afternoon. It's a 3-hour event.
But
Right.
again, Spring Fete is going to be a lot of fun. And you know, and if y'all haven't been to Homa's house in the last couple of years, Kevin has done some wonderful things.
I have.
At Homa's house.
Different Kevin.
Different Kevin. Some of the things you've done at Homa's house we can't talk about on
That's
television.
right. That's why I'll have to wear a disguise to go back.
But no, I mean, he has actually put in a River Road museum of sorts, which is very, very nice. But the gardens have been expanded, so you're going to be walking through some of the most beautiful real estate in Louisiana as you do this.
Absolutely.
If you haven't been to Homa's house, it's just absolutely, absolutely gorgeous. So it is the 18th. It is a Sunday. It's from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. And go through the restaurants again so everybody kind of gets an idea of it. We'll do the ticket pitch at the end here.
Yeah, so we have Homa's House, Rufino's, we have Rouge Creole, Don Bergeron at City Market, of course, Beau Soleil, the Francis, Rue 61, Playa Bowls. Am I missing anyone? I think that's it.
And more to come.
Yeah, more to come. Absolutely.
Solera was the only one I think.
Solera. Yeah, I said Solera, I think.
And again, some of the wines, the big wine distributors, I guess, are putting up the tables.
Yeah, so we have, I know we're going to have like Reynolds Winery. So like Steve Reynolds is having, his slew of wines along with his tequila, Penta tequila.
Oh, dear God.
That is, if you haven't had it, it's delicious. So his son will be there, who is taking over the vineyard, the wine company. So, and then we have some other, there's so many. I have a huge list of wines and spirits and,
Well, and I again, this is not where they pre-fill glasses and you just walk by and grab one. You are actually talking to people in the wine business at these tables, and they say, what do you like? What would you like to try? They can tell you about the wine, and also they can answer your questions about the wine. If you're there on that Sunday,
right,
and you're going to do a big dinner at your house the following Sunday, tell them what you're planning on serving, and they can help you if you want.
Right.
With your wine selection. That's one of the beauties of these things, that not only is it fun, but it's really, really educational.
Right, and also the wine distributors will have, if you want to buy wine, there will be an opportunity. They will have their forms, and you can say, "Hey, I want to buy." You pick it up at like Calandro's, Bin 77. There will be those options.
And there's usually a discount, by the way.
Yeah, case discount.
Yeah, usually a pretty good discount when you buy wine at one of these.
I don't want to put you on the spot, Abby, but you did mention a silent auction. Do you know any of the items that are up for grabs, or is that yet to be determined?
Well, yeah, we have a few. We have, I know we have a tequila tasting and dinner for 10 from Mestizos.
Nice.
I think we have a large format from Plump Jack Winery. And I have the whole list. But I've got to get everything confirmed. But those are just a couple. It won't be like this huge, overwhelming auction, but it'll be some really nice auctions. Maybe crawfish boil for 20, pick up, things like that.
Yeah, most of these are kind of experience type of things. All right, Spring Fete, Sunday, April 18th, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. at Homa's House and Gardens. in Darrow, Louisiana. It's on River Road in Darrow. Most people think that's Gonzales. It touches Gonzales. And if you don't know where Homeless House is, ask your phone. It'll tell you exactly where Homeless House is. It's very, very easy. It's easy to get you from Lafayette. It's easy to get you from New Orleans. Easier than if this were in the center of Baton Rouge, by the way, because you're just a slight hop off of I-10 coming from either direction to get to this. And the tickets are
$85 each for a general admission ticket, $125 if you want to include round trip.
And that means you get transported from one of, 4 different restaurants?
Three
different restaurants.
Rufino's, Palermo's, or Mestizos.
Yeah. So you don't have to drive. You can go out and dine and have your wine, and you don't have to worry about getting in a car.
You get to ride on the party bus.
Well, I mean, literally, you can Uber to the restaurant and then Uber home. So really, we're trying to make it as easy as possible, you know.
Absolutely. So if you've never been to one of the Epicurean Society fetes, this is your time to do it. Now, tickets are at Eventbrite.
Yeah, they're on Eventbrite, but go to our website, breastbr.org, and you just click, and it sends you right directly to Eventbrite where you can purchase the tickets.
BRESBR.org. And that stands for Baton Rouge Epicurean Society. I know a lot of people like to use different things for that acronym.
It's Baton Rouge Epicurean Society of Baton Rouge.
Yeah. From our Department of Redundancy Division.
Well, I imagine somebody else is using BRES for a URL. Am I correct on that?
Maybe.
Yeah, probably so.
It could happen that way. But
sometimes you get forced into funky URLs because somebody's already got yours.
Now again, so they can ensure that there are proper quantities of food for tasting and wine. They have to tell these chefs and these wineries in advance what to prepare. 275 tickets are the limit. There are probably still about 140 or so left?
110.
110 left.
110. We could put that over the top.
Yeah, so please don't diddle around on this. If you want to go to BRESBR.com.
Org.
I'm sorry.
BRESBR.org.
BRESBR.org. Get your tickets, and you will have a good time, I guarantee it. Abby, thanks so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me. Great
Look forward
to see
to
y'all.
our next visit.
We'll be back in just moments and wrap things up on Exiles TV.
Caught spiders? Premier Pest Services.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to greystonecountryclub.com.
Hi, business owners. Phase 3. Woohoo! But do your customers know you're back? Well, that's where the Clarence Bugg Show and Pelican Broadcasting can help. Right now, we've got great rates on advertising packages to help you get the word out. Shoot me an email at bugsclarence@gmail.com. Or better yet, call me up. I'd love to talk with you. 225-485-6839. Let's get together and make Phase 3 the best it can possibly be.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
Hey, we're back. It is Exiles TV, and we appreciate you giving us a view today. Don't forget that the program will air again tonight at 10 p.m., and you can always catch it on demand by going to YouTube. Search out the Pelican Broadcasting page on YouTube, Pelican Broadcasting, and there you'll find all of the previous episodes of Exiles TV, the Clarence Bug Show, and all the other terrific programs here produced on Pelican Broadcasting. So I hope to see you on YouTube sometime soon. Bill, love him or hate him, you got to admit that U.S. Senator John Kennedy is a soundbite machine.
God, I just get a kick out of his asides, as it were.
It has been said by the Biden administration that he is going to make the vice president, Kamala Harris, the point person on the quote-unquote crisis at the U.S.-Mexican border. And here's the quote from our Senator Kennedy. Putting Kamala Harris in charge of the border crisis is like making Lance Armstrong a drug czar.
I just, we often don't have a lot of levity in politics. And whether you like Senator Kennedy or not, you got to admit that he will inject some levity and also a little bit of astringence, shall we say, into our political discussion. I wanted to mention this real quickly. Today is the day in the state of Louisiana where everybody over the age of 16 can get vaccinated, just because. And we now have 600. Well, I mean, you used to have to prove that you were a one-eyed cop who worked in
sick with this, sick with that, under a certain age, over a certain age. Are you a first responder? Do you know a first responder?
Are you a second responder?
Now it's like as it should have been.
Do you have a hook finger?
Well, I agree partially with the way we did this. We gave preferential treatment to the people who are going to have to be dealing with those COVID patients, so they did not get sick in treating the COVID patients. That was smart. The next thing, we also gave preferential treatment to the elderly. Let's protect them from getting this disease because they're the people mostly that are dying from it.
But then after that, it got silly.
Yeah, got a little weird.
And we also had a lot of doses that were being wasted. You have to use these 6 hours after they come out of their refrigeration. And because do I meet this category? I don't know if I meet. So they had a lot of waste. So anyway, anybody over the age of 16, you don't have to say I've got asthma. You don't have to say I'm over 65. None
I got
of that
a bum
stuff.
leg.
Yeah. Can receive a vaccine, and there are now 608 providers in the state of Louisiana.
Now, the odds are, if you're able to get a vaccine, it will be the Pfizer 2-shot vaccine. Your second largest chance. Everybody says, I want the Johnson & Johnson because it's one shot. And yeah, that'd be great. But there's just not that much of it out there.
I saw one news report today that in the Baton Rouge area, I saw this yesterday, I'm sorry, not today. In the Baton Rouge area, the largest amount that is going to come in for use today will be Johnson & Johnson.
Good.
And I believe
I would, because
Oxner,
I'm going to be starting cancer treatments here in a week or two, and I would love to be able to get that vaccine one shot before I begin the cancer treatments.
Well, you need to check because I think it was Oxner that is getting the Johnson & Johnson. It was there was that church that was begging people to come a week and a half ago. They couldn't get enough people to come. They had the Johnson & Johnson.
Got a call a couple of nights ago and received the call too late. But my Albertsons pharmacy called me up and they said, we had to open a lot. We were giving out shots We saw that you had gone to our website and asked for an appointment, but we've got shots left over. Would you and your wife like to come over before 6 p.m. and we'll give you your shots? Unfortunately, it was about 6:30 by the time I saw that message, and I missed out. We could have gotten our shots Thursday night, but missed out. I've been doing a lot of sleeping at odd times. You know, I find myself dozing off in the middle of the afternoon and sleep until like 7.
Well, you probably have OMD. It's quite common. It's called old man disease.
Yeah, maybe that's it. But so anyway, we missed our shot at the Pfizer vaccine.
I have OFD, old fart disease.
Yeah. Do you suffer from CRS?
Yes, I do. Who are you again?
Yeah.
But anyway, everybody try to make an appointment. And Kevin, you might want to check Oxner. I think they're the ones that are getting the Johnson
I'm going to check Oxner, and I'm also going to check back in with the pharmacy.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I mean, if it's as simple as going to my pharmacy,
since
I've got my flu shot at the pharmacy, I got the shingles vaccine at the pharmacy. The hell?
Well, since they were nice enough to call and say, hey, come on by.
Yeah.
You know,
But,
and
maybe they'll call me again next time they have some leftovers.
well, maybe you can call them today and say, hey, call me again, you know?
A couple of real quick ones. I saw looking at some headlines that are troubling. Marshawn Lattimore, New Orleans Saints, arrested in a stolen gun case.
Oops.
And I'm sure there's a lot more than that, but you can read about that on Breitbart.com. He was arrested in Cleveland on Thursday night, charged with possession of a stolen gun. Why would a guy like Marshawn Lattimore need to have a stolen gun?
Well, he might not know that it was stolen.
Maybe so.
Somebody might have given him a gift.
Yep.
You know, that can happen. That does it for us. The replay at 10 o'clock tonight. Clarence Buggs coming up in about 7 minutes right here. He'll be sitting in the center, though.
Mm-hmm.
And for Kevin and I, we say thank you for being with us. Go on out and get that shot. Stay healthy. Stay safe.
And may God bless. Take care.
Bye-bye.